My name is Randy Moore, and I did my summer internship with South Carolina Equality. I am a social work student at the University of South Carolina, and I kind of wanted to talk about not only my project, but some of the things I observed in this whole experience. So to start off with, there's that, and the Know Your Rights program. So basically, what the Know Your Rights program is a web-based resource guide for South Carolinians in our state that focuses in our 5 key areas of work, which are relationship recognition and family protection, non-discrimination, transgender inclusion and protection, safe schools, and hate crimes prevention. So basically, some of the objectives was to centralize all the information that really is kind of spread all over the internet. There's so many different groups with so many different things, and we wanted to make that relate to the experience of South Carolinians. And so whether it was local, state, or federal laws, just as they applied to those individuals. So kind of what we wanted to do was to direct them. So we're developing how-to guides. We're developing like questions to ask your lawyer, because of course getting a lawyer is expensive, and we wanted to make that as easy as possible. We're also trying to find all the forms and things that would be useful in terms of accessing some of these policies. So next, in terms of the process, it was tons of research. I worked with some other students, a law student, board members who had expertise in some of these different areas, and as well as really trying to put myself in the experience as to what it would be like to try to understand and figure out how you could access some of these resources. And so in terms of the findings, I was actually surprised by how many things you actually can do to protect yourself and your family. But at the same time, it also gave a chance to really understand the difference in those policies and how they don't really reflect full equality under the law. It also creates a new role for South Carolina Equality, a new reason to go to South Carolina Equality, and I think that is something that is really beneficial to the organization. So another thing that during this whole process, when I first started, me and the executive director, Ryan, kind of talked about, he posed this question to me, and so I kind of was thinking about it the whole time. And I think it's a really important question because I grew up in a really rural area in South Carolina. I didn't graduate high school, and it was not a lot of resources for me to access. And so I wanted to think about what made that different in terms of this work versus other places. And so I kind of come up with a little, what I have titled a cycle of obstruction. And so basically at the top you have this idea of community, which is a lot of times people think is really hard to infiltrate Southern community, but it's actually a great strength if you, as social work strengths perspective. So the community and I guess to define that a little more, let me get to the right thing. These communities are extremely tight-knit, especially in the rural areas, and the reasons for this relate to economic reliances between families, also geographic location, and kind of being separated, which you have the deep-seated religious convictions that often are present. But there's also issues of poverty and education. I mean, I didn't graduate, like I said, so it's something that occurs, but there's also this political pandering. So individuals vote for individuals who reflect their values, who then in turn feed them back to themselves. You also have cultural privilege, which is individuals in the majority who don't really recognize their culture as culture, but societal norms that everyone else should ascribe to and have equal access to do so. And then, of course, technology. Rural communities don't have the same access to technology. It's usually more expensive, and they don't really know how to use it because of the education. But also, I wanted to kind of talk about why this is important in terms of movement inheritance, because I really believe that everything we do in our state is something that makes it a little bit better for the next generation that comes through. And so last but not least, I want to kind of pose this quote to everyone, which is to think about this as Anais Nin said, that we do not see things as they are, we see things as we are. So we really have to, if we want people to understand us, we have to go there and try to understand them as well. Because in terms of true equality and true social justice, they're not our enemies. In a way, they're just really us. And so I think that's something that we really should try to ascribe to do. So thank you very much.